Hey everybody, Fred Minnick here, and I'm about to review this here Wild Turkey 1. Now, this is one of the most coveted releases of the year. It's the Master's Keep, a toasted oak finish in the Wild Turkey house. You'll learn more about that in the description if you want to read more about this particular product in terms of the style and everything. But first, I wanted to tell you about a couple things that are very important right now. One, we are in the middle of in Kentucky. You know, we're our hearts are broken, and we're in the middle of a recovery effort in the bourbon community. It's called the Kentucky Bourbon Benefit. It's myself, the Kentucky Distillers Association, Bourbon Crusaders, and a ton of individual private citizens donating their bottles. We are about to have the biggest and best auction in the history of bourbon. Among those things that we are going to auction off is this gem right here, a really rare Willet. This is a private barrel pick, a 16-year-old. Somebody is donating these to be auctioned off. There's also a Willet barrel. Four Roses has stepped up with a bunch of really cool stuff. There's going to be a Blanton's barrel. There's going to be a 23-year-old Van Winkle decanter. There's going to be so many incredible items to include. My Smoke Wagon pick will be up for auction. I can't wait for you all to get involved on that. And that will be more of that stuff is dropping every day. More is coming out. But be flexible, be ready to bid, be ready to tell your friends. But it's all going down. We are going to raise a lot of money for the tornado victims to rebuild. We are going to rebuild, and Kentucky will come back stronger. So I'm always a big fan of Wild Turkey limited releases. Wild Turkey is a brand that it did not get a lot of love for their limited releases for a long time. They used to just kind of sit on the shelf while Buffalo Trace Antique Collection and some of the Brown Foreman and Four Roses stuff would just kind of take off. Wild Turkey just kind of, sat there, and that was fine by me and a lot of other people because we would just go to the store and buy it, and anybody who's a turkey fan doesn't need approval from other folks. That's the one thing about being a Wild Turkey fan. Other people don't like it, big deal. I like it. You don't gotta like it. And so I was a huge fan of almost all their releases that they did that were limited edition. And so this here, this is an exciting one. Anytime you put one on the bottle, you got to start thinking of the Matrix. And of course, the Matrix is rebooting. Who is not excited about a Matrix reboot? Okay. Ooh, that is nice. That is really, really nice. That is like a nutmeg superhighway. Nutmeg, hazelnut. Wow. Nutmeg, hazelnut, kind of like a little bit of coffee bean in the background. It's really beautiful. Wow. Maple syrup, toffee, hazelnut, black pepper, marzipan. There is a marzipan note in here. It's like, oh my God, this is good. I haven't announced my whiskeys of the year, but I have a feeling that this is going to be on that list. And, I do beg for your patience with that list and with like doing my annual tasting, because I'm telling you all, I'm all in on this Kentucky Bourbon Benefit to raise money for Western Kentucky. And everything from my events to my tastings, it is all just, I just don't care. Like I want to make sure we raise money for people, and that's where my heart is. That's where my everything is right now. But as I taste this, I feel pretty certain that this will be on that list. Now, second smell, second time around, I'm picking up a lot more citrus, a lot more fruit. So before it was kind of in that baking spices camp and like some nuttiness camp. And now it's on the fruit side. So this is like a peach cobbler now. So before I was like talking nutmeg and hazelnut. Now I'm getting like baked fruits inside a pie, like a cobbler. Just wonderful. The approach of like the amount of like almonds and everything. Even I'm going to take a look here at what their tasting notes here. Their notes are notes of rich vanilla, fresh toasted oak, caramel, spice, and butterscotch. Definitely will agree with the butterscotch. Now, it's one of those notes that most bourbons that of a significant age will have a butterscotch note, but there's a lot of beautiful like almond, hazelnut going on in here, and I think toasted oak is not necessarily a something that you're going and tasting on a regular basis. You can smell it, but you're definitely not tasting it. You can maybe get like the smoke off of it, but oak, when it's done right, can express itself as like a nut. And of course, nuts come from trees, so or most of them do. Like there's a lot of legume nuts, like peanuts. Those don't come from trees, obviously. But I think this Wild Turkey one is splendid. I think it might be one of the best releases from their house in a long time, which is saying something because I've loved almost all the releases that they've done. But it's finishing with like a kind of like a nice succulent peach. Like I keep going to this peach note. There's like a hint of dried apricot as well, but this like succulent peach, this peach cobbler. So if you're a peach fan, you're a nut fan, if you like some sweetness, you like some butterscotchiness, this is going to be your jam. And no, often I will say, if you don't like this, this, and this, then you won't like it. I cannot think of a whiskey drinker who will not like Wild Turkey 1. This is absolutely exceptional, splendid whiskey. I'm gonna have one more sip before I close out, if you don't mind. Oh, son bitch, that's good. As I kind of close out, I want to tell you about one other thing. You may have seen this on Instagram, but this was going to be the big announcement week, and I was going to put a lot of muscle and stuff behind it. But I have started a hot sauce, and the announcement and everything didn't go as planned because obviously my efforts are elsewhere. But just want to show you that this is the hot one. So this is the level 6. It's got my little cartoon on there. And then this guy here has got my podcast sticker on there. And these are being sold as holiday packs on Kentuxican. And the one with my cartoon on there, that's a heat level 6. It's got Carolina Reaper in there. It's got Habanero in there, along with a few other things. But more importantly, 6 bourbons and 6 ryes. The one with just the podcast logo on there, that has 6 bourbons that have been featured on this podcast, or this YouTube channel. So if you want to learn more about that and how to order, you can go into the description. You'll find a link there, kind of telling you more about it. But you can get this in time for the holidays. But if you do one thing for me, or one thing that you can do, like to help me or whatever as we close out the holidays. Donate to Western Kentucky and help them rebuild. I've got links in there in the description telling people how to donate. But I've also got a link out to the site that we are doing the auction from. So be very much on top of that. Continue looking, and stay with us. Let's help rebuild Western Kentucky. And I can't say it enough how much this state kind of comes together in times of tragedy, but also the bourbon community. And so cheers to you all for all your support. Be safe.